The Chargers season is on the line as they take on the Broncos in week 14, but the Broncos are in the same exact situation right now as both of these teams are in must-win territory. And the Broncos have been on a tear recently, going 5-1 in their last 6 games where they beat both of the Bills and the Chiefs. But last week, the Broncos were pretty terrible on offense, and a lot of that falls on Russell Wilson's performance. If the Broncos want to have any chance at winning this game, they're going to have success through the air, and Russell Wilson is coming off of 3 interceptions against the Texans. Prior to that game, though, he had been taking care of the ball well, as he did not throw an interception since October 12th against the Chiefs, and that ball security, that was a big factor in their winning streak. Now, another factor to watch out for is his running and scrambling ability as a quarterback. And now Courtland Sutton is the main weapon to watch out for because of his size. I don't think that anyone on this Chargers defense can guard him one-on-one. And also Jeudy. He hasn't been great this year, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him play well because of his route running ability and how often the Chargers defense has communication errors. I think this could be a big get-back game for the Broncos offense and Russell Wilson, but this Chargers defense, and specifically that pass defense, has been playing well recently. They benched Jasir Taylor, Dean Marlowe, and Michael Davis for Dean Leonard, Jalen Hawkins, and Essang Bassey, and over these past 2 games, they have not allowed a 200-yard passing performance, and Russell Wilson has only had a 200-yard passing game once in their past 7 games that they played, and those were the Broncos' best games this season. Now, yes, I know, the Chargers defense was going up against Bailey Zappi, who's just about as good as Uncle Rico. But they also held Lamar Jackson to 177 yards and arguably his worst performance of the season. Now, the Broncos' offensive line is the 7th best in the NFL, but the Chargers' pass rush with Thule and Khalil Mack has been explosive all season. So if they want to beat the Broncos, they must get pressure on Russell Wilson like the Texans did and force him to make errors. And Mike McGlinchey, he might have a really rough day on Sunday. Let me pull up some of the film of the Broncos offense so you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about. And while I do that, make sure to like and subscribe. If you do enjoy this content, man, it helps me out so much. And let's look at this offense. Now, this is very early in the game, and the Broncos are going to go with a deep shot to Courtland Sutton. Watch him run this route, and then as soon as this defender commits to go to the outside with him, he plants and goes back towards the inside. So now he's taken this man, the inside leverage man, out of the play. Now we only have this guy on the outside, and this ball is thrown to give him the best shot at making this catch, and he just barely drops this ball. This should have been a huge play for the Broncos offense. And the reason why this works is because at the bottom of the screen, we have Jeudy running this out route so he can take away the other man who's playing in the middle of the field and the other deep safety, Derek Stingley, on this play. So they both come up to him, and that leaves this one-on-one with Courtland Sutton in good position against the deep safety. Also, last thing I'm going to point out on this one, look at Mike McGlinchey, the right tackle, struggling against this Texans defense, even with a chip, that tight end chip, this man. And Russell Wilson has to step up and throw this ball under pressure. Another big missed opportunity for this Broncos offense. We're going to see Courtland Sutton going deep over the middle of the field, and he's going to suck in this Texans defender and this deep safety on this play. And it looks like Jeudy is just going to follow right behind him, but he cuts right here, forces this defender to be just kind of stuck in no man's land, and then goes towards the outside, beating this defender. This should be a huge play for Jeudy, but if I take this back and we just look at this offensive line play, we can see that it's not great. And as soon as Russell Wilson sees that Jeudy cuts, he's got this man coming right in his face, and he has to step up and try to make something happen. His scrambling ability and his running ability, man, as a quarterback, it's something that you have to be aware of. He's able to get a few yards on this play. So when Russell Wilson is under pressure, he can't throw the deep ball. But what if we just have him roll all the way outside away from this line of scrimmage because we don't trust them to block for him, and we have these deep routes developing at the same time? And you can see this man is going to take this deep safety over the middle of the field, and that's going to create a one-on-one matchup at the top of the screen. And he's beat this man by a good 3 or 4 yards. And this throw is just a little bit, I mean, it's kind of a lot underthrown. That defender gets in the play, and there's a lot of contact right there. You can argue there should be a flag, but it's a missed opportunity for the Broncos. Texans showing blitz right now with their 2 linebackers, but they're just going to bring their 4 down linemen, and that's going to create a one-on-one matchup with both the left and the right tackle and their edge defenders, and both of them beat the Broncos tackles on this play, and they end up getting a sack on Russell Wilson. That is what the Chargers need to do. Use Tuli Tuipulotu and Khalil Mack to get one-on-one matchups against these 2 tackles. Now we finally have one of those deep shots that actually works. It's going to be Courtland Sutton just running deep and then down towards this corner sideline area. And Russell Wilson, he's kept clean for the most part, has to roll kind of away. He's got good pocket presence right here, understanding where that pressure is coming from. Gets out cleanly, and this ball is thrown right, boom, perfectly into the basket of Courtland Sutton. That is a big, big play, and the Broncos had a couple of them that they should have had in this game. Really nice right play by this Broncos offense, and Jerry Jeudy running after the catch, almost getting into the freaking end zone on this one. Now, I just want to show you how the pressure affects Russell Wilson. He gets this ball off just in time, and you can see he's not really incredibly pressured on this play. No one's going to hit him, and watch how he doesn't step into this throw. You see his feet not really stepping into it, just kind of throwing it with his arm, and that's going to lead to this ball being underthrown and the defender being able to get back into this play and pick the ball off. This is Derek Stingley from LSU. Here we go, pressure coming again. This is in the last drive of the game. Broncos really needed a first down. Pressure's coming on the stump move, and then he makes this linebacker miss and runs down the field, able to get a first down and then call a timeout so he can get an opportunity to win this game. And with that opportunity is this play. You can see the left tackle gives up pressure immediately on Russell Wilson, and he's just going to turn, break that tackle, and throw this ball. You can see again, not really able to step into it. Not great QB mechanics right there, but it's a great job just to even get that throw off into the end zone to get intercepted and end the game. Now on the other side of the ball, the Chargers offense has been struggling in just about every facet. Dropped balls, no run game, poor pass protection, bad communication. I mean, Justin Herbert has only Keenan Allen on offense, and now Keenan is even dropping balls and running the wrong routes. The Broncos defense has been the worst in the NFL in rushing defense, and they rank towards the bottom of the league in every single category. Now, I think that those numbers are inflated though because of how terrible of a start the Broncos had to begin the year. I mean, just that Dolphins game alone is going to blow up their defensive stats. But the Broncos pass rush looked good on paper with 5 sacks against the Texans. But to be honest, they were pretty inconsistent, and there were several plays where CJ Stroud had a lot of time to throw. Patrick Surtain is clearly their best player, and I'd expect him to line up on Keenan Allen all day. But the Broncos play a very zone-heavy defense, and the Chargers will have plenty of opportunities to exploit that. Vance Joseph is creative with blitzes, and we have seen the Chargers offensive line struggle mightily with blitz pickups and stunt moves all year. Let me show you some film from this Broncos defense as well. The Broncos do this blitz a lot. We're going to see a weak side cornerback blitz, and we're going to have all these guys on the line of scrimmage. We're just going to drop back the guy who is the linebacker on the strong side. So the Sam linebacker is going to drop back into coverage. And the weak side, we're going to bring our nickel cornerback. CJ Stroud sees this, throws right into the blitz perfectly, and this goes for a huge play because of that space that the cornerback vacated, allowing that throw to take place. Justin Herbert is really good at throwing into the blitz and throwing under pressure, so expect to see some of that. Now, there's nothing really complicated on this play. It's just going to be Nico Collins running right by the cornerback, and he's expecting the safety to help him, but the safety never even turns his back, and he's just so focused on this inside route over the middle that CJ Stroud is just going to have this easy deep pass for a huge gain to Nico Collins. It's not even a great throw, but it's a huge pickup. And now look at the top of the screen because this is pretty significant. We're going to see, I think this is Tank Dell, just put Patrick Surtain, their best player, in a freaking blender, right? Boom, right there. He hits the freaking turf, and that would have been a touchdown for sure if this ball went to Tank Dell at the top of the screen. Whoa. You don't see that often. Now we're going to have the same thing again, but this time it's Justin Simmons as the safety that's way too focused over the middle of the field that he's just going to let Nico Collins run this out route totally free, and this cornerback on the outside has to go all the way back to try to get into the play right here. But he can't get there quick enough, and that's just a big play for Nico Collins again because of bad safety play by the Broncos. And you can see Nobody is over here in this area. This is obviously the weakness of the Broncos defense. These safeties are so focused on everything in front of them over the middle of the field. We can see right here, this man is totally covered. CJ Stroud looks his way, the defender comes up, and now this safety has to have the wherewithal to realize this man is now running into my zone and I need to back up and get more space to pick him up. Instead, he's so focused on the man that's in front of him that he allows all of that space, and they are lucky that this is not a huge touchdown. Here's just one look that the Broncos defense can give you. Alex Singleton and Josey Jewell on the line. Now we see this man in motion. Alex Singleton follows, and Josey Jewell, right before this ball snaps, goes back, and he's going to get this zone coverage. So this is just a four-man rush, and as you can see, Jonathon Cooper is the first man to get to CJ Stroud, and then this is just gang tackling, man. This is a big group sack for the Broncos defense. And look at this other look. We have these guys again on the line of scrimmage, and then we're just going to see on the outside. So look, all these guys vacate, and we bring all of these other guys on the outside, the two defensive linemen, and then our cornerbacks blitzing on this really wide spot, and we're able to get the sack and the fumble on this play. I mean, just from this look, you would not expect these four players in the middle to go back into zone coverage and then the four players on the outside to go and blitz and get home as quickly as they did. This is really good defense. Alex Singleton, the linebacker, times these blitzes so well. You can see he gets right in between the guard and the tackle and gets away from the running back to get the sack on CJ Stroud really freaking quickly. He had a blitz like this a couple times in the game, and this one he finally got home. Here's another look. We have our two linebackers looking like they're blitzing. We're going to drop one, and then we're going to bring this cornerback on the outside, and look at Laramie Tunsil. He's confused. Do I go for this man? Because now he's stunting towards the inside, and now I've already given up too much space to this cornerback, so he ends up just kind of blocking nobody on this play, and the cornerback comes off completely free. This is a great designed blitz, having this man go on a stunt move towards the inside and just bringing your cornerback with as much speed on the outside. It puts the tackle in a blender. So this is a big game for both of these teams, and I think it's fair to say whichever team loses this game, they also lose their playoff hopes for this season. And if you want to see film from the Chargers, you can see this video right here of the Chargers offense playing against the Patriots defense.